Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cafe Cast, a show with pony analysts and probably just other pony people, where we talk about shows and whatever we really feel like. So, welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Introduce yourselves. I'm the Looney
Hello.
Turtle, obviously.
You have our things mixed up.
Yes, me and Shark. I am not Shark, the
I am
blue
the
pony with the red
Theorist.
hair.
Hello, nice to meet you.
I am
That's
such
my
a
line,
glorious taco.
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. I would be the shark person. I would be the brown-coated,
Yes.
black-haired shark person.
Yes, that is him.
We're still ironing out the bugs, the bed bugs.
Bugs.
Yes,
Looney,
the blue pony is Shark, obviously.
Looney,
Never.
you might want to fix that. Eric,
And maybe
you
put on a
should-
and maybe put a white background for me, because that way you can see my glorious hat.
Yes, iron out details. Fun. But, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Legend of Korra.
Ooh,
Yes.
fun.
So, who wants to start out the conversation?
James had said before that he wanted to say something at the start, so why don't you start, James?
Well, first, at the start of, close to the start of one of the final episodes,
Yeah.
they revealed that Kuvira has a fucking Ava!
Yes! That was awesome. That was
And
awesome.
completely destroys a base. Now, skipping ahead to partway through
Actually,
this...
hold on. First, I like how, when she brings the, Destroyer of Worlds over, she just shoots at a few boats and explodes them and is like, this is my power! I was like, seriously? That's your example? Why not, give us a better example, like explode a building?
Well, she
I
did
think-
that several times during the battle.
Oh yeah, during the battle, but just to get Republic City, she blew up a couple boats, and Raiko was like, "Oh, you get the city. I'm sorry."
Well, we don't know what those boats could have done to the actual army, because even if she has the mech, if the rest of the army falls, she's got nothing. She may have a big mech, but if you don't have the ground army to support it, it's just a big stumpy thing.
As
But
seen
yeah,
by
but
the
she did
mosquito
have the-
bite.
She did have the ground. She did have the ground army to support it. That's the thing. She did
Yeah,
have.
that's what I'm saying. Those boats could have knocked out a lot of the ground army, and if she lost the ground army, then
Though I actually think it would have been a lot more interesting if they didn't go the route of I'm going to get a big gigantic thing.
I have a
Because-
thing. It's big and
It-
gigantic.
While they're weaker, they're still stronger in other aspects, such as political stuff like that. I think they should have just kept going with that rather than just going to okay, I'm just going to go crazy with the gigantic fucking mech.
you know what? Some people were thinking, oh, what she's going to do is she's going to take that big cannon and put it on an even bigger tank.
But it
that would
wasn't
be-
a tank.
But that would have been the clever thing to do, because then you could have driven that thing through streets. And
I mean, I can understand why the writers decided to put it on a mech. They knew, okay, well, these are the last few episodes. Well, guess what? We're going to go out in a gigantic bang.
I think what would have been... I find it funny that the season finale of the last two seasons have had big giant things fighting.
Very
Yeah.
big, giant things.
Because we had
That
the
fired
Dark
massive
Avatar
spirit
and-
laser beams of death.
And they're
Well,
both
those are
purple.
always the fun. Those are always the fun, aren't they?
Now, this is what I actually wanted to say. At the start of, not the start, but partway through the season finale two-parter, the big mech is walking through the bay next to the bridge, right? We all remember this scene, the scene that was
Yes.
completely passed over. Now, what are waterbenders known for doing other than bending water?
Yeah, I understand what you're getting at. You're saying
bending-
that you're saying that
bending-
they should have frozen it. Yes, I understand
Bending
that.
water into ice. Now,
But here's the
what would
thing:
have
they
happened-
tried that. They already tried. They
Let
tried
me-
that in the episode, though.
no.
Also,
see,
there was Team Korra was the only group in the city, and they didn't know that there was going to be a giant mech.
And I'm pretty sure that Korra was the only water bender there.
Was she?
If
Wow,
I'm
she
not
actually might
mistaken,
have
she
been.
was. The rest
She
were
was the only
earthbenders,
one
and then
who-
there was
who-
Mako as a firebender, and the rest were metalbenders.
But you know what? Here's another thing.
That'll-
Why didn't Mako just melt the damn thing? Not
Because-
Mako.
It's platinum.
Because, see,
Yeah, it's platinum,
one,
it's
yes,
still
it is
metal.
platinum, and two, the problem is lava didn't do anything. I don't think fire will.
Yeah, platinum has such a high melting point that fire and lava wouldn't do anything. They had to have a specialized tool to do it.
Lava would, but it would take a very, very long time, and I don't think Kavira's that dumb.
Just stand in lava all the time. Do what WoW players do. Stand in the fire.
Fire burn.
What do you mean fire is supposed to kill you when you stand in it?
Yeah, I guess I can see what you're getting at.
Now, what I'm now the thing is though, do you,
Oops, second.
wouldn't you think the moment the army gave up, yes, but it was obvious that what's his name, guy who's voiced by Zuko,
Iroh?
General Iroh.
yeah, General Iroh, he's been in this, he was a good character, but they did nothing with him.
Because he wasn't really that big of a thing. He wasn't really shown at all in the series, except for maybe once.
He was shown towards the end of the first season. Second season, I don't really think he actually showed up.
He wasn't shown in the third season either.
And then
Yeah,
fourth
basically,
season, he's in the tent, and
He's had literally no development. He's not really that interesting of a character.
Yeah,
Which
but they
is-
did a fair bit of. But yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a shame because he could have been so good, but they
Yeah,
left him.
he's really-
Yeah, the army just kind of got
Did nothing.
captured by Kuvira.
I think
Yeah, I
that
guess what you're getting at.
And see, the thing is, the moment Kavira and most of her army left, I think you know what? At the moment, they're walking towards the Avatar and her team. Why are we just standing here?
some soldiers are dumb.
Because the
Yeah.
city was surrendered, so the army doesn't fight.
Well, technically, the Fire Nation army isn't under the jurisdiction of them. So if Iroh really wanted to, he could go, okay, you firebenders, come with me.
I thought Iroh led the Republic's army, not the Fire Nation army.
No, he's the head of the Fire Nation
No,
army,
no,
basically.
no. The taco person is correct. He does lead that one. He does lead that army, but
The
he doesn't.
Republic army.
Yeah, he does lead the Republic army. He doesn't lead the Fire Nation army.
Because if you paid attention towards, I can't remember, when the leaders of the nations were getting together, Izumi, the leader of the Fire Nation, said, "You're not going to get my help. I don't want to start another war."
Yeah, but she said yes to a defensive.
Yes, but also, if you remember first season, Iroh said clearly, it was clearly said that Iroh was the general of the Republic's army.
I remember earlier in the season, the president stopped Korra from being able to do something. And he was talking to... What was it? Like... What happened last season? I forget.
Something,
Airbenders happened.
Yeah, it was searching for the Airbenders.
something airbenders, something
Okay, then it was
harmonic
season 2.
convergence, something giant
Mecha Death
avatar
Christ.
battle.
But I do remember that he is part of the Republic City army.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
how about that King Wu development in the final act?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
horrible
interesting.
singing and Hadger moles listening to him.
Well,
He's-
the-
Interesting.
the
he's
Badger
related
Mole
to the guy
thing-
with the guitar.
See, the Badger Mole thing was explained in
In the original.
in Legend of the Avatar.
Avatar:
And
The Last
story.
Airbender.
Yes, that's it.
Admiral
Thank you,
loves
Lenny.
music.
Yeah, it's the tempo and such of the music, not the actual singing.
Yeah.
Which I can't believe Wu knew that.
But see, that's the thing. Why did he know this? How in the world did he know this?
He is supposed to be Prince of the Earthbenders.
Yes, but he's shown to be an idiot.
And
Maybe it's a folk tale.
he was shown to be very smart near the end because he was telling people to evacuate. He was like, we should do an evacuation.
Telling people to
plan."
evacuate does not instantly make you smart.
It just makes him
Now,
responsible.
Shark, I want to bring something up.
Yes.
Pinkie Pie. Incredibly
you-
ditzy.
But she
The
got rid of the
Smarties.
goddamn Parasprite. She did.
Oh,
Yes,
Lord,
but-
the ponies.
The thing is, like, besides those final episodes, King Gru's character was shown to be an idiot. He was not shown to be a smart character.
Well, he wasn't shown to be an idiot. He was shown to be a spoiled brat.
Yes, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
insensitive.
Yes.
Basically, he was Emperor Cusco before he
Oh, yeah, that's a good comparison, yeah.
That actually is a very good comparison. Except for Cusco is an idiot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little bit. The part that I did like was he kind of realized he might not be the best person to lead the army. Not the army, but the empire, the Earth Nation, whatever it is. And I think I do agree with that. Making the Earth Nation kind of independent was the best choice for his character.
Well,
Yes.
not independent. It's becoming America.
It's
As I
becoming
said,
a republic.
independent.
They're all becoming Republicans.
You know what I find amazing though? What will the fanfic writers and the comic book writers call the new Earth Empire? Will it be the
Earth
United
Nation.
States? The United
The United States
the
of Earth
Nation?
Republica.
More than likely, it's going to be the Earth Confederacy because that's what it is: a conglomerate of individual states with their own leaders.
And I can't wait for the fanfic writers and the comics to
Yes.
start up because that's going to be fun. And I'm going to find it funny when when a lot of people stop watching Nick, and I hope to see a correlation to basically I want to see a drop off of people watching Nickelodeon content between now and the next time Mike and Brian release their new project.
I agree. Honestly, I'm hoping that maybe they'll change their mind and maybe take their stuff over to Cartoon Network or Disney Channel. Either one of those. It's not
Unfortunately, Nickelodeon has them by the short and
As I
curlies.
said, but I'm just saying, wait. A contract has a certain time point when it'll end. Am I correct about this?
I believe they owe them at least one new show. One new,
That's
and by
fine.
show,
Then.
I mean completely new.
Give them the show, but then after that show finishes, go away from Nickelodeon. Don't go back to them.
I actually heard rumor that Mike and Brian are actually going to be doing something with DreamWorks for a new
That
show.
Yeah.
could be interesting.
I'm not sure if that's going to be a new show or maybe they're doing a movie.
And that could mean that they're
I
working
just
with
heard
Disney
that they're
Channel
working.
as well because of them and DreamWorks being very close.
Hmm.
That would be interesting though.
We'll just have to wait and hear what
Who knows?
happens with them.
Maybe we'll get a
Yes.
Legend of Korra movie. That
No,
wouldn't be bad.
maybe
I
they're
don't
going
see
to
a
turn the
Legend-
search into a miniseries.
Just don't give it to M. Night Shyamalan, and we'll have a good time.
Yes.
You know what? I don't see them doing a Legend of Korra movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Legend of like the first Avatar, the story
Wouldn't
of
mind
the
seeing
first
the comics
Avatar.
made into a movie.
No, the first Avatar's story that we got in last season. Get that, but expand it out and throw it into a movie.
Yeah, I don't actually think that would be very interesting, to be honest, because we already got that story. I'd rather hear something new.
Well, we only got
Maybe-
tiny snippets, so
Maybe more about Avatar Kyoshi and how she bathes in
Yeah,
everyone's
that
blood.
could be interesting.
Yeah, because well, we know a little bit about her already, but we only know a few things.
But I would rather them kind of close up everything, close up the Legend of Korra series with a movie, because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't feel like it got closed well enough.
I think it's as close as we're going to get because
In my honest opinion, I see there going to be more graphic novels to finish up what got left off, like what they did with The Search for Zuko's.
Yeah, I can see that. I would rather them do either a movie or a whole other series, just not on Nickelodeon.
They have confirmed that Korra, well, not Korra, but there will be more Avatar comics. Now, the thing is, with the comics, they haven't excluded making new avatars for them.
Exactly.
So
they did say that Korra was not going to be the last of the avatars.
Clearly not.
Also, they didn't close off her connection with the other avatars. Like, what?
I think they pretty much said. I think they pretty much said she doesn't have the connection to her other lives now. It might happen in the comics.
She restarted the avatar cycles.
Yeah.
Well, will she ever gain access to them again?
No. I don't think so.
Like most fans who go heavily into this kind of thing, most of them say it would be nice for it to happen, but it most likely won't.
Like, actually, I think it's more interesting if it didn't happen. And Korra is kind of like the new first Avatar, not the original first Avatar, but
she's not the Huan.
Basically, restarting the whole Avatar line.
Now I've got a question.
Yes.
Would you, if they did make a new series and it was in the it was focused around the next Avatar, if you could pick one person from the Korra's group of friends to help teach the next Avatar, who would it be? My pick would be Bolin.
Yes.
Actually, my pick would actually be one of the non-benders.
I can't.
I'm saying
it would be
Guru Patik Ta Aang had to go to the Avatar state.
good point.
What was her name? I'm trying to remember her name.
I can't believe that I forget
Asami.
Avatars.
Yes,
names.
thank you. I think that Asami would be a good choice to teach the Avatar.
Reason I'm saying the reason I'm saying Bolin, because then you could bring in some good humor, and also you could have the Avatar no lava bending, like proper.
Yes, but the thing is, for all the teachers of Avatar said, have any of them ever been really the comedic relief character?
No.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Unless you count Toph.
Toph isn't really a comedic relief, though. Toph is badass.
But it was funny to see her train Aang.
Yes, it was. I admit this, but
that's what I'm saying around the like. I think Bolin could be serious. Like, this is Bolin when he's much older. Clearly, it'll have to be much older. He'll probably be a bit more serious, but he'll probably be able to go, you know what? Since you're the Avatar, I get to have fun.
Yes, a little.
Or better yet, actually, what's her name? The young girl Avatar, not Avatar, but Airbender one.
Opal?
No, not Opal.
No, not Opal.
Janora?
Janora.
The new master one. Yeah, Janora.
Yeah, Janora.
She could be an interesting one too. And actually, she would be. Actually, I think that she would be the best choice simply because of her deep connection to the spiritual side,
and also the fact the next.
Such a young age.
And she's also the next Avatar is going to be an Earthbender, and they've already stated the polar opposite
of that is air.
The polar opposite element to the Avatar is most of the time the hardest for that Avatar to learn. So with Aang, it was Earthbending, and with the next one, it'll be Airbending.
It also has to do with the Avatar's personality, like
that too.
Korra, she got firebending and earthbending pretty easy, but it was airbending that she had a tough time with because it involved thinking outside the box.
Yeah, she's more of a... It's because of her fiery personality, really.
Yeah, she likes to go at things head on.
Yes. The big interesting the thing. I've got a question for everyone. Your favorite line or set of lines from Korra. Mine has to be Julie do the thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You stole mine. Mine is, sir, there is no more things to be done.
I don't know what my favorite line is. There's just so many.
I think Varric is fan favorite for comedic moments. Him or Bolin.
Oh, yes, definitely. Like, no, he beats out Bolin by a long mile.
I'm saying, like, Bolin has more physical humor than Varric's.
Yeah, he's a slapstick character. He's the character that we wouldn't care gets slapped around or gets thrown into a mountain or something. Because it's funny.
It's very humorous.
Yes. I think everyone...
Okay, here's a question for everyone. What is your favorite moment in general of all, from both Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra? What is your favorite moment? For me, it is actually Old Toph going to fight Kuvira.
For me, it's the moment the moment before Bolin figures out he can lava bend. His face, it's not, I'm going to do this, it's, if I don't do this, we're all going to die.
Yes.
If I don't do this, we're fucked.
It's like, this is our last resort.
It
worked!
Okay.
Mine is like when Bolin lifts that rock and he's like, "Yeah, no, it's okay, take your time."
What makes it even more funny is that the whole Beifong family minus Toph was there.
Yeah, and they could have all helped him. They could have all worked together and then just flipped the damn thing.
Well,
But
Toph
they
wasn't
did
there.
it.
I did say that Toph wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As I said, I liked Old Toph as a character. She got more funny with age.
Yeah. Plus, she
know
can
what?
earthbend purely with her feet.
Also, it's nice to know that 3 members of Team Avatar are still alive.
Yes, it is good to know.
Yeah, like everyone except for that we know was alive. The only ones that were left were like the only ones that we don't see are Sokka and
You know what? Speaking of Sokka, I find it kind of upsetting that Sokka didn't end up being Toph's one of
No,
the.
that's not true. That's not true at all, actually, because we never found out who
Sue's dad is.
who Sue's dad is, and
But
Sue's
it's never
skin
stated
color.
that.
Now,
It's
let
never
me finish
stated
here.
that she has a different dad than her.
Yes, it
she could
is.
just been born dark skinned.
They clearly say that Sue and Lin have different dads.
When?
Season 2 or 3, I think.
I think when they first met Sue, she said that she
They
had
had
one
different
dad and Lin had another dad.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at Korra and Sue, their skin tone is very similar. So Sokka may be Sue's dad, which would still leave it open to the whole what's his name, old guy.
I don't think he's really part of that at all. I think that was just made to play off of for laughs.
No,
I
I
know
don't
what
think
you're talking about, though.
the best case scenario. I think that is the one that leaves open the already stated the fact that Chief Beifong and the Airbender guy, the master,
Tenzin?
I forgot his name. Yeah, Tenzin. That still leaves open their relationship being a thing and not being ooh gross.
Also, one point I'd like to make is that there is pretty much a canon Toph relationship in one of the comics between Toph and this inventor guy whose name I can't remember.
Neither
Whose
can
hair-
I.
Whose hair looks very much like Sue's and has a similar skin tone.
Yeah, but basically they haven't gone, on for fan reasons, they haven't stated who Sue's dad is, so we can go, "Ooh, it's this guy." No, wait, it's not.
They honestly
It's this
should
guy.
have. Like, they said they were actually going to tell us, but they never did.
They
They
told
didn't
us
tell
who.
us-
I smell
Yes, they
more
told us a
graphic
character
novels.
that has nothing to do that we've never seen. So what's the point?
Because now we know.
Okay, what does the character look like? What does the character sound like? What happened to him?
We don't know. Graphic novels, once again.
Yes.
Now there is one thing I'd like to bring up.
Yes.
One very important thing,
Oh, B.
and this is about Korosami.
Oh, Lord.
Ah,
Okay.
yes, this shipping.
Go ahead.
Now, how did Legend the last Airbender end on? It ended on Avatar Aang and
Kissing,
not kissing, because they were both holding hands. They never actually
no,
kissed.
yes, they did.
No, we
No,
didn't
I mean,
actually see them
at the end
kiss.
scene.
Like
Oh.
Legend of Korra, we didn't see them kiss.
Yeah, and in the edge, and also there's a thing. If you're friends, you don't hold your hands together in the way they did, looking into each other's eyes. That's not what friends do. And unless you're playing a game and it's trying to freak the other person out, and whoever
See, that's
the
the thing.
breaks away first gets a
Nickelodeon
punch.
would never allow them to flat out say, Kurosami's a thing.
I actually heard rumors that the creators wanted to make Korosami canon, and that there was supposed to be a kiss at the end, but they knew that if they did that, Nickelodeon would pretty much kick their ass.
Now, I have a question. What was that, what was the, language and such, and what did it say right at the end when it's going up the spirit portal?
I believe
I
it
think-
just said the
I
end.
think that's Sanskrit, and it's the end.
Ah.
It's literally the end. They did the same at the end of the last Airbender.
Except they had
Yes.
subtitles last time.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
they
was
knew,
like, what was...
because they knew people would say, "Hey, what does that mean?" And people would say, "It means to be continued."
Yes.
And I'm glad that I already just... I thought anyone would have just assumed that it said the end.
I was assuming it was the
Well, that-
end, or it was like, thank you, or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to remember, though, we live in a world filled with humans, and humans are generally not smart, especially if they're watching TV.
This is true.
How did you know?
Some people also just might not have known, and were like me. I didn't know exactly. I've had the idea. It's most likely the end, or thank you, or something like that. But I
Well-
wanted to be sure.
So, question:
And
Do
so
you
I
guys do you guys think that they were actually trying to allude to Kurosami in that final
Oh,
scene?
heavily.
Oh, yeah.
They were
Allude.
definitely trying to
Allude.
allude to it.
Really?
Allude.
That's like saying subtle is spelt with a giant explosion.
Yeah.
Well, to certain people, that is Michael Bay.
Now, will the viewers accept this? Not all of them.
Some
course not.
yes.
I can see it from both ways.
And, like, I'm not going to impose that onto anyone else. It's just like, I
Like,
see it as Kurosami.
I accept that could have been Kurosami, but I can also see why people would say, "Oh no, they're just being friends." I can see it from both ways myself.
Yeah.
Well, I like to bring up some very good points to people who say that Korosami is not a thing, if I may say them.
Good.
Go ahead.
Well, do you all remember when Korra went missing, but the only person she ever replied to a letter to was Asami?
And
Because-
if you remember right, they're like the first time they saw each other afterwards. Korra turned and curled her hair.
And blessed.
Yes.
After a compliment was given to her by Asami.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But the point
It's all
I was,
in the subtext.
yes, but the point I was making was that Korra trusts Asami without question, more so than Mako, who she's had a romantic relationship with, or Bolin, a very good friend, or even Tenzin or her own parents.
Well, no, they could just have an understanding more than trust.
Also,
True.
her parents were living with her, so why would she write to her parents?
No,
I just like to point that out about
told her parents that she was feeling this way. Instead, she
And-
left, and she didn't even tell her parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, also all of the Korosami moments where et cetera happen. But the point I was making was, who said that romance has to be purely physical?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why in the hell didn't Korra's parents send a letter to her on Avatar Island?
Who knows?
Because one of them is not very smart, apparently.
The
other
plot
one
said
is
that
all-
they shouldn't.
Cause plot.
Because
Yes, because plot convenience.
hooray!
Hooray!
Everywhere.
As two writers, me and Taco, we love because of plot. We use that on every occasion we can. If we don't want to explain something, we go, whatever. Just look away. Look away and look at the pretty explosion over
Do
there.
not pay attention to the man.
So basically the Michael Bay method. Okay.
Well, we explain things when it's needed to be explained. If we
Yes.
believe it doesn't need to be explained, we don't.
Yes.
And it's
Okay,
better to show than tell.
Yes.
Especially-
Sometimes there are times when it is better
Yes,
to
within
tell.
reason.
There is a nice balance to have with show don't tell. You don't
Yes.
show so much that you're not telling us anything.
And you don't tell so much that people get bored.
Yes.
Now, I've got a question.
Hi.
You know when the big chain drops down in the episode, and then there's this giant blast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have wrecked the gun?
Well, as soon as they cut the chain, the gun was useless.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, because they use the
You know,
gun
that's
later.
another thing. James, you brought up before you even started this, that the gun needed to turn in order to fire, but before it fired later on the thing where it didn't have to turn. So
Really?
I think that the turning was simply for better aim.
Like a railgun.
Yes.
Mm. But still, my point stands. If the chain dropped down and there was a massive explosion, which we see, wouldn't that have wrecked the gun?
Well, the chain, I think, was just to reload the gun. I don't think it was.
You know what? Here's another little bit of a thing. How did the gun fire before when there was nothing in it?
Plot
we-
convenience.
We saw that there needed to be something in it in order to fire.
No, because
Perhaps
if you
it was
remember,
loaded
it did-
before.
It right before she ripped the chain off, it loaded a shot, and then she ripped it off. Because that's like you see it load a shell, and then it gets ripped off.
Are we talking about when it landed in the Spirit Wilds?
Just before that,
And only that. Oh, never mind. I was about to ask hot fire, but I
when
remember that. Mind.
when Sue was ripping it apart,
Ah, yes. That
because
one,
like
I'm pretty
'cause
sure
I
it'd have a
think-
shot.
yeah, I think it
I don't-
did
I-
load
I-
the
I
shot,
don't-
and
I
don't
also
think-
I like how she's like she looks at it and she's like the arm is useless to me, and then she just rips it off and throws it away.
It would have been more funny if she used it as a club.
Yeah, it would have been.
I do love the fact that the moment the metal benders get inside, they're like,
You know what? Here's the funny thing is, like they said that this wasn't going to end a gigantic bending battle, but it still kind of did.
Well, it wasn't gigantic. It was in a tiny room.
Well, when you think
Still.
about it, the final scenes weren't a bending battle. It wasn't a bending contest. It wasn't like the
still
end of
sort
Avatar
was.
where it wasn't what they basically said. We're not going to be doing the exact same thing we did with the Last Airbender, where basically the last few episodes are a big battle scene.
No, they couldn't do that. But That's the
But they
thing.
could've.
They said that no, they said that they were not going to end it like they had the previous seasons. Season 1 ended with a gigantic bending battle. Season 2 did the same. Season 3 ended with a freaking Avatar fight, which was awesome.
Cool.
Season 4 still, I still feel like it did end with a bending battle. Just with a gigantic fucking mech.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Who loved Bolin's lava saw?
Oh, I love it. It was
yes.
freaking awesome. It was a good reference. I admit this.
I'm glad he learned
But
something
my
from
question is,
Busan.
where did he get it exactly?
It's literally
He
a-
just needs rock. Literally,
I thought it was made out of something like special. I thought it was
just
actually
rock.
I think it was a piece of asphalt that he brought in from outside.
Yeah, he just grabbed a piece of asphalt or something and went, "Oh, wait a minute, I can use this."
Or he
And-
could have done what waterbenders do and just had some rocks in his pocket.
Which
You
I
know-
think is a really smart thing for a earthbender to do. Always have like a little pouch which has rocks in it that they can use.
Just like how waterbenders have a water bottle that they can pull water out of.
Yes, and they can also use it to drink.
Yes.
And to heal.
Honestly, something that I'm kind of sad about is that the only nation really shown was the Earth Nation. They didn't go anywhere else. Really,
We haven't. That's another thing. In Legend of Korra, we never saw the Fire Nation.
We didn't
Not
see
once.
we didn't see any of the other nations either. All we saw really was the Earth Nation. We saw a little bit of the Water Nation, but that's it.
I'm
We
saying
saw an air temple too.
we got to see a lot of the Air Nation because it was kind of a small
Big deal.
place at the time and fairly big deal. We saw a lot of the Earth Nation. A small bit of the actually an entire season was focused around
Republics.
the water tribes.
Ah.
And we got nothing in the way of the Fire Nation actually going to it or anything. We did get prominent figures from the Fire Nation, but that's pretty much it.
Well,
We never
do we
actually
really
had-
need to see the Fire Nation anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm
Legend
saying.
of-
I think we did.
The last Airbender focused a lot on the Fire Nation, so Legend of Korra,
Well,
I feel it just gave more focus on
yes,
other
but
parts.
how many years exactly had passed since the Avatar series had ended?
Well, the Fire Nation was already well off. They're probably just as well off.
Yeah,
as
but I
the,
would have loved to see like how
Republic
much
City.
they changed over the years, rather than just them showing important people.
Well, to
You
to
know
be
what I
honest,
Probably
would've-
didn't change very much. Just like a bit of technology, but other than that, it's still the same place.
it's
I'm
it's
not
like
sure
Japan.
if we actually got this reference or not, but I would have loved to have seen a cabbage vending truck get destroyed. And then
Didn't
the man
they-
They
One
did.
of the
They did
seasons.
make a reference to it. By,
cabbages!
they did make a reference to it in the first season. Remember?
I don't remember that far back. I need to rewatch the entire series now.
The first season they made a reference to the cabbage thing by having like the what was it, Cabbage Inc. something like that.
Yeah,
Cabbage
Cabbage Corp.
Yeah, Cabbage Corp. And
Also,
then
Matt,
and then like at the end when he was being taken away, he yelled, "My Cabbage Corp!" So they did make a reference to it. They did mention, oh, by the way, this was a thing.
Matt,
Yes.
would you please grace us with your My Cabbages impersonation?
My cabbages.
Eh,
Eh,
Not his best.
I'm sick today, so that might be why.
my cabbages! Eh.
Yes. We've been doing this for a good 40 minutes or so.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
I'm
good
at
what we
50.
do.
I'm not
Um,
keeping time.
I'm keeping actual time because we were in the call beforehand, before the actual
Yes, but
show
I'm not really
started.
counting that. I still say about 50.
Anyway, you know what? I think they released the Legend of Korra game earlier this year, and it had yes, they did. It's about let me go check Steam right now because I can. You guys entertain them while I'm looking at Steam.
My
Taco, do the
cabbages,
thing.
blah blah blah.
Oh, I'm doing all the things, Captain, but I can't do any more.
Can you hear the popping? I
Hurry
have
up.
bubble wrap.
Tony Turtle, tell the joke.
Why did the turtle cross the road?
What?
Why?
Because
Okay,
I wanted to get to the other side. Do I really need more of a reason?
Okay, it is currently the Legend of Korra game is currently $15 on Steam. One of the main features that everyone loves is the pro bending minigame.
Pro bending.
It's
Question,
minigame
is the actual main game terrible?
The main game is decent for $15.
It's repetitive, is what it is.
So it's a Nickelodeon game. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to mention something though.
Yes.
The pro bending game in it like minigame isn't the correct word to use because it's quite good. Now, imagine if you went to
still be good.
Imagine if you went and let's check who the studio was.
It
If you
was
went
Platinum.
to Platinum and said, "Hey, Platinum, make a pro bendy game," and they took everything they learned from the Legend of Korra game and made it a full, proper pro bending game, and
Yeah, that could be interesting.
all the money would be thrown at
Okay.
that because if you now during the height of Harry Potter fame, when they were bringing out all the good video games, PS2 era, but they brought out a game which was Harry Potter Quidditch.
Oh
game.
dear, not that.
Oh yeah,
game.
oh I hate that game. God.
No, it was awesome and it was
No, it
fun.
was terrible.
It was push A win game.
So
That's not fun.
If you
was
wanted
fun.
to make a proper Quidditch game, you would make it
Okay.
easier than pushing a single button to pass
Okay,
a ball.
to change the topic back to Legend of Korra, well, not Legend of Korra, but a little bit afterwards. What story do you guys think they would tell if they did make another Legend of Korra series? Not Legend of Korra series, another Avatar series.
If they were going to make another Avatar series, I'd like to see a new Avatar. Maybe, and this is me going off on a limb here, the next Airbender Avatar, and they have to live up to the expectations of Aang, the last.
But we've already had that.
Or even Korra, the person
Korra,
who
no,
opened
but
all the spirit portals and created a new one.
But the thing is that Korra already had to live up to Aang. We've already seen
No.
that.
No, she's a waterbender, so.
Yes, and-
What I'm getting at here is imagine what she had to go up against, times that by 10, because now that Avatar is an airbender, and well, yeah.
I still disagree. I think that Korra already did that plotline, so I wouldn't really like that. I would like to see I would like to see just like a new villain. Like actually, the villain I would like to see come back, even if it's not even possible, just some way bring him back from the dead, is the villain from the first season.
You mean Amon?
Amon, yes.
The brothers that kind of got blown. They
They're not-
kind of
as I said, like it would be interesting if they could find some way to actually bring them back. 'Cause that was an interesting villain.
Brings up the spirit world point.
And yeah, technically speaking, it is possible since they connected the spirit world.
No, actually, it's not. They have stated the only people who exist in the spirit world are people who are heavily connected to the.
Yes, but what if he was the villain in the spirit world? He didn't have to come back. He just stayed in the spirit world and did villainy things.
No.
But the thing is that he was spiritually connected.
No, okay. The rule is that they have to be like spiritually sound, sort of. I forget.
They
the word.
basically have to be.
But like, okay, you
If that
know,
were the case, then
what's
why-
his
then
name?
how did-
What is his
then
name? The uncle, Zuko's uncle. Who is he?
Iroh.
Iroh.
Iroh
Iroh was a very
Japanese.
peaceful person, and
Alright,
that's
but
why
he had-
he ascended
Looney,
into the spirit
Looney,
world.
there's
But
some-
an
there's
evil
something-
person someone who's not very spiritually aligned doesn't ascend into the spirit
Looney,
world.
there's actually something very wrong with that. And that is the fact that the villain from season 3 was able to go to and from the spirit world.
Yes, but he wasn't really evil. He just
He still
But
technically was
he's
evil.
not
Would
very spiritually aligned.
Would you classify what he was doing as evil?
no, because he thought he was doing what he thought was right, and that's
Okay, and
what,
so was Amon.
No, actually, Amon knew what he was doing wasn't right, hence the mask.
But he was doing what was best for non-benders. At
No,
least
he
that's
still
what
thought what he was doing was right.
He was actually
The
bent
mask
on
is not-
ruling over people, wasn't he?
all of the villains in Legend of Korra thought what they were doing was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I admit that the Legend of Korra villains were kind of better than.
With Amon, it's Amon, right?
Yes.
The spirit guy. Yeah,
No.
he had Amon's the equalist guy. But basically, the Red
Unalaq.
Lotus plan, Unalaq. Unalaq and the Red Lotus's plan was, okay, we're going to kill the Avatar, get the new Avatar, and train them to follow our ways instead of the White Lotus. Now, honestly, once they'd done that, they were going to just fade away into obscurity. That, like, once they achieved their goal, they were done. Where with Amon, he wanted to rule. He wanted to be the best, highest honcho.
I still say that he was spiritually sound enough to make it into the spirit world.
He kind of went crazy at the end, though.
Well, you don't have to be spiritually sound to go into the spirit world as long as you go through a spirit portal.
I mean, once you've died.
Ah, yes.
I still say that Amon was spiritually sound enough to do that.
Spiritually
one person,
aligned.
Yeah, the one person I can see getting into it from Korra is actually Janora.
No, Janora can
'Cause-
already do that, though. She already has a high spiritual
when
connection.
she dies.
Yeah, when she dies, she can go to the spirit world.
I think Tenzin will be able to at some point as well.
You never
Maybe.
We'd have to wait until Tenzin died.
Yes.
I actually don't think that would be far off considering his age.
Yes, but he's very fit for his age.
Yeah.
Wait,
is he the oldest brother? I forget whether or not him or Boomy are the.
Tenzin's the youngest brother. Boomy's the oldest.
So I think could Boomy get into the spirit? Do you think that Boomy is spiritually aligned?
Boomy is best friends with Boomju.
Boomju! Boomju is best spirit.
So he could be considered spiritually connected.
I think once he gets a bit old, like once he gets to Iroh levels of age, he will become a lot more spiritual and calm down and such.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Or he'll be Iroh with a touch of silly.
How many of you guys actually wanted to see Iroh come back from the spirit world just for one fight to help Team Korra?
He can't. He can't leave
I would much prefer Zuko go through a spirit portal and have a chat with Iroh.
Your
Yeah, that
spiritual
would've been
alignment needs to be finely tuned to go into the spirit, like to live on in the spirit world.
Yes,
That was the wording.
And you can't really leave the spirit world because he's a spirit at this point. He doesn't have a body.
Well,
Do you
spirits
guys-
can leave the spirit world.
no, only the
And fight.
pure spirits can leave the spirit world.
Do you guys think that Zuko? Do you think that Zuko would be able to get in?
He most likely could.
Yeah.
I think how he changed his ways and such, he might be able to get in. I look at the fact that he's gone from being in episode 1 and of Avatar to being a crazy I'm going to get this guy kind of person to now being more like his uncle.
Yeah, he's aged well.
He's aged very well and matured.
All right, would you guys have liked to see Korra? Not Korra, but what was her name? The waterbending person.
Katara.
Katara, thank you. Sorry, having a hard time remembering names. Would you guys have liked to see Toph, Katara, and Zuko come together just for one moment?
Everyone.
You know what? You know what I would have liked to have seen? I would have liked to have seen them all sitting around a pie show board and having Toph beating one of them, one of the
Yes.
other two.
Who is Sokka's applied love interest in Avatar?
Ugh.
I don't
Suki.
remember her name. Thank you, Suki.
There's
Why
Suki,
didn't we see
there's-
Suki at all in this?
We didn't
series?
see any of the Karoshi warriors.
Why? They were interesting characters, though.
Because
Who
reasons.
knows?
It's weird, though.
Like
I would have
they
loved
could
to
have
see
they
that.
could have so easily gone to Karoshi Island just for a throwaway scene.
Well, the show more wanted to focus on the Korra and its characters, not the previous series.
Yes, but
It
they
wanted to
still
create
showed that
something
they
new,
still-
not dwell in the past.
They still showed some of the characters from the original series, and I would have actually loved to see the Kyoshi Warriors. Hell, they could just have new Kyoshi Warriors, as long as we actually got them.
But it focused on old Avatar as much as it needed to. Like, we don't want to rehash the same show.
There's
Something
some
else
pieces
that was in the wedding scene. Something that I like to bring up is the fact that every single person in that scene was animated.
Yeah, that was obviously a gigantic send off. They wanted to say, okay, we are going to try our hardest here. We're going to show them exactly how good we are
Yes.
before we leave.
basically doing. It's hard animating something like that when it's just the first couple of rows. When you do the entire thing, you're driving yourself up a freaking wall.
I'm just
And
curious,
that's not
Shark.
from. That's
Are you subscribed to Emergency Awesome?
Yes, I am.
Raise your hand if you are. Raise his hand.
Looks at hands of animals on screen. None are
But
raised.
that's a taco.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Okay.
have
He was an animal once. Like, there's meat in there, a heavy amount.
But
of,
he's a
Wow,
taco
that's a meaty
now.
taco.
Oh, how can he raise his hand?
I'm
He
not
raises
raising
his
my
legs.
hands though.
He must not. Yes. I guess. I asked that because that point was just highlighted by him.
I know. I'm totally ripping off everyone who has already reviewed
Wait,
Avatar
what
because I
point
can't.
was? Wait, what point was? What?
The point that everyone was animated in that wedding scene.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I still think I wish that we had gotten a scene in that where was somehow the three still living original Team Avatar members helped
I
the
think
new
they-
Avatar.
I think they were there. We just probably didn't see them at first.
We saw Katara in like one or two scenes. I wanted more
also-
Katara. God damn it!
Go to the
also
comics.
Something else that Looney will probably realize I'm about to bring up. The little baby's grown up.
Yes.
What?
I did
not
Oh,
notice
that
in my first
viewing.
I didn't see that until
passed, correct?
yeah, like 3 years have
So it
passed. So
makes-
he's now
it
like
makes sense.
3.
It makes sense. No, actually, wouldn't he be 4? Like, wasn't
No,
he
he'd
born
be-
at the beginning of the previous season?
Rowan was
3 or
born
4.
in season 2.
Yeah, but so 3. So I would say that he's 4. That's being as big as he is now makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 or 4. He might be fairly big for a 3-year-old, or he's average size for a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
He
originally
might
thought
be-
it was Milo.
Now the
Like,
question
I-
is he an airbender?
We don't know
We
yet.
don't know.
I would have loved to
They
find
never.
out.
I think he's a bit young to be airbending.
Oh,
Yes.
Milo. How old was Milo when he actually first started?
We
Yes,
don't.
but he's the master of fart bending,
The
That doesn't
powerful
matter.
part ending.
which
He
we
will
actually
teach
got to
future
see.
generations the art.
Do you think that perhaps Milo will study under who is the abstract artist in the Metal Kingdom again? What's his name?
Oh, I can't even remember.
One of Sue's kids.
Yeah, I
Do you,
know.
do you think that he will become friends with said person? Like, do you think that those two would end up becoming instant friends just because of the art thing?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll totally become friends with Skrillex. I mean, that one guy.
Also, I loved the how the brothers bended together because they had it wasn't the same metal bending style that we've seen before because they're brothers. They grew up together. They're twins. They've made their own style that works together.
Yes.
Honestly, I kind of wish that we got to see more of why am I forgetting names all of a sudden? God, Picard Jr. and his wife, that bitch.
Oh, you mean Kuvira?
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I forgot her name. I don't understand why. I would have loved to see more of them together rather than just a few scenes.
Well, they didn't want to overplay the romantic thing
Because mostly Kuvira was with her in a relationship with Picard Jr. purely for convenience.
No, hang on, that's not true at all though. She still showed remorse for what she had done for shooting him before she even did.
For a moment, sorry.
Really, but did you also not notice that she never once said "I love you" to him, and he said "I love you" to her?
Not as far as we know.
I wonder how that will actually cap off Kuvira and him.
I think the two will still
to the comics.
To the comics.
Come on, the
comics.
We need to open the floodgates now.
You know what? There's a line that I've realized something. The My Little Pony community and the Korra community are aligning on one thing: to the comics.
To the comics.
The difference is that the core comics are actually canon.
Yes.
Well, arguable. Canon is very heavily arguable.
Yes, it's
were the comics written by the show writers?
Who knows?
Actually,
were the core comics or the Avatar comics written by the show writers?
Quickly,
I'm actually curious.
to Wiki.
To the internet.
Quickly, to Wiki.
Quickly,
If they were,
try and find a different topic we don't want to get dwelling on.
Then I would say no.
Legend of Korra.
But arguable. We won't bring up this.
It was written in partnership with the creators.
We won't open this can of worms.
All right.
Yes, they are canon. There we go. We're done.
Okay.
Now, what else can we talk about?
We all loved the show, and it was good. We had Korrasami ship to OTP. It was a good show. They made a good note, and we're done with it.
Yes.
Yeah, I have nothing more I want to say on it. You guys?
It could have been. They could have ended it much worse, but they could have done.
It also could have had a little more in it to help sate our palates.
You know what? And we all know the only reason that we didn't get more is because a certain company cut the funding.
Nickelodeon! God damn it!
No, we weren't supposed to be pointing fingers. Somebody.
Give it to Hasbro. So they could also give it to Hasbro and probably make it work. Yes, Hasbro only cares about money and cares about like toys and stuff like that. But they at least know how to handle a show.
Hasbro, the toy company, enjoys, making sure that you buy their toys.
Yes. Nickelodeon obviously says, okay, fuck it, just give them more SpongeBob. I wonder how that conversation went, like, between the Legend of Korra makers and the not SpongeBob community, and Nickelodeon. Here's how I think it went. Okay, we need to get rid of your guys' time slot so we can have more SpongeBob.
What?
Everyone just probably looked at the heads of Nickelodeon and like, what the hell are you smoking?
I would actually love to know that. What the hell are they smoking when they keep putting on this SpongeBob shit?
It could be worse. They could be at the point the Disney Channel's at.
Disney Channel only says
Live action!
shows.
More live action! We started
The live action shows on Disney Channel are not that bad.
Terrible. No, they're terrible.
I disagree.
I agree with I agree with the man in the hat. They're terrible.
I disagree.
No. When
At least not to hire people that are good actors.
no, when one of your best ideas is let's take the dad and son from That's So Raven and throw them in the White House.
That was.
Okay, I'm not saying that there aren't a couple of flaws, but that's the same thing for anywhere. That's the same thing for cartoons. There are bound to be flaws.
Like the one show that is semi decent is I believe it's called Good Luck Charlie, and that was and they extended it for far too long.
And then they
I
ended.
disagree, but
And then they ended it. But, like, they should have ended it about a season or two before
you know
they
what?
actually...
I'll say this: Disney Channel has balls for ending it, for actually blatantly saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, lesbian couple." I respect Disney Channel just for doing that.
Are you talking about Adventure Time?
No, I'm talking about
That's Cartoon
Good Luck
Network.
Charlie. The second to last episode of Good Luck Charlie, Disney Channel said, "Fuck it, we're gonna just blatantly point out, oh by the way, lesbian couple." Yes, as I said, I entirely respect Disney Channel for being the first people to actually blatantly say it.
Well,
Not really
that's not true actually. Bubblegum Princess and what's that other princess?
Marceline?
The vampire. Yes.
Was it
They are
blatantly said?
You know, I'm
it
slowly
was.
going to get tired of homosexual relationships in cartoons.
Was it ever blatantly said?
I don't
Yes,
watch Adventure
yes,
Time,
it
so I don't know.
was. I've never seen Adventure Time, but basically I was
It was
bored one
never
day. And
blatantly said ever.
I was
To
bored
the
one
internet.
day and I went to the Taco. You go
Yes,
to the
in that one
internet,
fan
we'll
fiction
search
that I was reading the other day, it said it. It was canon.
do we have anything else we need to talk about? Because we've been talking for about an hour, and that's
No,
the time we were
as I
looking
said,
for.
I really have nothing else I want to say about it.
All right.
Well-
So let's cap off with final thoughts, and hopefully
I'll
more
go ahead and
discussion
start
spark
off
from
then.
that. Yes.
I'll go ahead and start off then. Legend of Korra was an interesting series for me. I still like the old series, but I respect the way that they decided to end it with the kind of ambiguous ending that they did.
For me, Legend of Korra was the show that brought me back to Nickelodeon. And now that it's over, I can go back to watching all my good,
Now that
glorious...
it's over, we only have SpongeBob, and no one's gonna watch that. SpongeBob.
As I was saying, now I can go back to watching grown men and hit each other with steel chairs.
Ponies.
And ponies, yes, and ponies. But we don't have any until spring.
God damn it! Come on, Hasbro.
Taco? Your
Aye.
final thoughts?
Taco Man.
Legend of Korra, great show. Sad it ended. but-
Okay, blatancy, I like it. And Mr. Turtleman.
I like this show, but The Legend of Korra, it didn't have any lion turtles, so I'm not much of a
They
fan.
had lion turtles in the one
Yes, it did.
episode.
Yes, it did, Looney.
It did? All right, Avatar 1. It was pretty good for the third season, but the rest of them were boring.
Looney, I have your next Nightmare Night costume.
Oh God.
A lion turtle?
A lion
Here's
turtle.
Eric's thoughts.
I liked it. There was explosions and a giant mech. It was an amazing
So
way to
pretty
cap
much,
it off.
you're happy that it ended up with the Michael Bay ending. Okay.
Yes. Well, okay. It wasn't just explosions. Like the battles were pretty good too.
Yes.
Well, yes, but that makes it even more Michael Bay-ish.
You know what? Now we should pimp our stuff, like our YouTube channels and such.
Oh yeah, that's true.
yes.
If you guys want to see a crazy person talk about even crazier theories, go to Shark Discusses.
Hey, I'm the one who talks about the theories here.
Oh, shut up.
Oh God! I just realized.
You still haven't changed things around.
No, I have not.
The entire thing, I was like, I wonder
Go
what he's
to
getting
the
to
Blue Ones
notice.
channel. Go to the Blue Ones channel. Go to that channel.
Yes, I am James, the pony theorist. I occasionally talk about ponies every now and again. I also talk about other things. Me and Matt are working on a project for all you fans of Doctor Who and My Little Pony out there. We can't tell anything right now because we're still getting the last few things together before we can start flooding your Twitter feeds and Tumblr feeds and other things.
Yeah, we will all get you to hate us.
Oh, shush you, you're not in the group. And since I have stated it is something with My Little Pony and Doctor Who, so you can pretty much guess it's something to do with Doctor Who's, a certain turtle above me is doing the voice of the Doctor.
Yeah, see,
He will be amazing.
Yes, speaking of the Doctor, later me and Looney have to nail out his voice, which you will get to hear soon.
I am sadly the only one not part of this little group because they neglected to invite me.
Oh no,
Macho-
I invited you. It's just I can't find a voice. I can't find a spot for your voice yet.
Macho Taco,
I could be
pour
the
yourself
master.
out for us.
I could be the master. Just kidding.
I don't have YouTubes or Twitches or anything, but if you want to find more of me or my kind, go to your local taco truck.
Yes, but don't eat
Don't go to-
him.
don't go to ta-
Eat
don't go to
his
Taco Bell.
kind.
Don't go
No,
to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is bad. Do not go there.
We shouldn't introduce him to Sonata.
Yes, do not
yes.
introduce him to Sonata.
No, Macho Sonata. Macho Sonata OTP.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what we're
somebody-
talking about.
No, I don't.
Somebody tell Louis that his waifu got stolen.
Louis, your
Apple
waifu
Taco.
is gone.
Anyway,
this to him.
now the Looney Turtle gets to pimp his
Odd,
content.
I have a YouTube channel and it's titled The Looney Turtle. Go there if you want to see someone talk about cartoons. I'm probably going to be changing to most just cartoons in general. Right now it's ponies, so yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to be talking about cartoons in general next year, and it'll still probably be very much ponies. If you guys are interested in that, then head on over to that channel and subscribe. It'll be happy fun time.
Nobody's interested in your channel, Looney.
Get out of here, nerd!
See, actually, I know what something we can all pimp except for Matt because he's not a part of the group. Everyone should go check out the Rift Cafe.
Yeah.
Yes, if
channel
you
is
aren't
great.
watching this on that channel, then it's a wonder where you are.
Channel with man children there.
Yes,
So,
we sing and we have a podcast. This podcast, to be exact.
The Cafe Cast.
I,
Yes.
for one, endorse this
We also
channel.
have a
I am
Skype group if you want to join that. Just
don't
talk
worry.
to me and I'll
we
be
will,
like,
we
maybe.
will convert the taco a little bit later. We will make sure to convert the taco into a brony.
No.
No,
See,
you will never convert me.
Yes, we will.
see, that's
No.
see, Shark. That's a problem. I've been trying to for like 3 years now. It ain't gonna happen.
You aren't going to break me like my softcorn shell.
Then I will feed you to Looney Turtle.
No!
Looney, bye.
Looney,
Yum, 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 yum.
Looney, I have a snack for you.
No, don't eat me!
Yeah.
But yes.
So that has been the Cafe Cast. If you guys, just like, subscribe, all that junk, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Everybody disagree.
Tolerate.